Welcome to Coffee and Me, a series where I explore my love for coffee and all things deep and meaningful.
So, fun fact about me that no one asked for is that I opened a coffee shop with my brother when I was 21. We'll honestly leave that story for another day, but I actually hated coffee and I didn't drink it at all when I opened up the cafe, and I couldn't even really make it to save my life, to be honest. Fast forward a few years and I'm a little bit obsessed. So much so that when I was thinking of how to intro these videos, instead of me just talking into a camera, I was like, why don't I just do what I basically did for 7 years of my life? But obviously just change it up a little bit because no one wants to see me make a long black every day, which is, by the way, my coffee of choice, in case you want to know. So enter the iced long black, or if you're not from Australia, the iced Americano. I feel like most people convince themselves that they love the taste of this when it's basically just water, coffee, and ice. I am said people, and I honestly can't change my order now. It's too late, I'm too far gone. But I can spice it up like I am in this video. The iced coconut water long black is my answer to an elevated iced long black, and I won't repeat that word again, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, I've got my coffee concoction. Why I'm starting my videos with a different coffee is because this segment is just going to be coffee and a chat, you know, just keeping it casual. Make no mistake, this is probably the 10th time that I filmed this. Over the space of a year, might I add. I have recorded various videos in various backdrops talking about many different things, and I never posted them, not for lack of motivation or lack of desire to, but I guess I just kept thinking, like, what are you trying to say? You know, like, what is your channel about? What's the point of this? What are you trying to do? Like, who are you to make these kinds of videos? But the funny thing is, right, I have, during that 1 year and probably over the span of many years, consumed so much content that was never really about anything in particular, but just random people talking about things that interest them and things that are relevant to them. And what I found is that they tend to build communities, because while you may think I'm the only one who thinks like that, or I'm the only one who has this experience, it's always amazing to see that that is not necessarily the case. It's not true. I'm going to pause for a minute because I just want to see if the sound is working. Not me moving the tea towel and the containers that were in the back, because God forbid any of us have a normal looking kitchen. So my point with that little intro is that you can spend a lot of time in your life not wanting to put yourself forward because you think that you're just, I don't know, a grain of sand, if you will, like you're one of many. And I know especially that's the case with social media and with content creation in general. It's that it's so saturated, so you almost don't want to add to the noise. But something that has sort of been just circulating on a loop in my head is this desire that I think a lot of us have innately, which is to be seen. I feel so really grateful to have had a few people in my life say that when they're with me, they feel seen and they feel supported in some way. And I was like, you know, like it's so simple, I know, but like, I feel like it's what a lot of us need, and it's what a lot of us never had. And so my main goal in making these kinds of videos, no matter how random and no matter what the topic, is just to make people who, like me, just didn't feel like they really fit in anywhere, make you feel seen. And that feeds really nicely into the topic of today's video, which is when you are someone that is, speaking mainly about me, fickle,
flaky, and have trouble committing to things in life. I've struggled this for a long time. And what I find really interesting is so often these labels that we put on ourselves, they usually can start from something small that's happened in our lives. And what happens is over time, we emphasize it more. We're the ones that sort of bring it to the forefront and make it a part of our personality and of who we are. And truly, and I think this is why I struggle with making content, I feel like I have many facets to my personality, like a lot of us do. I'm interested in so many different things. I've always wanted to try so many different things in my life. And it's a big reason why I never slot neatly into a certain career path. It's why I studied journalism, but I never became a journalist. I ran a business with my brother. I've had so many random jobs. Like I cannot tell you how many random jobs I've had. I've worked for a footwear company in the head office. I've done online customer service. I've worked for an activewear company. I've worked for a really cool creative studio, marketing social media. I tried to become a yoga teacher. I've worked in 2 high schools. The list honestly goes on. And truthfully, and a big part of why I'm making this video is because I have come to a point in my life, 33 years, that I just don't want to feel ashamed of that anymore. I feel like a lot of us are trying to look for ways to define ourselves, and especially when it comes to career. Because when we meet people for the first time, the first question that comes up in small talk is inevitably, what do you do? I have always found it hard to define myself by that. I felt self-conscious because no job that I've really had, I felt I've totally been fulfilled by. It's nothing that I've felt, really proud to say that this is what I do. Because in so many ways, I felt like my career defined me in some way, or that it could. So I've always been looking for like the perfect job, and this is going to sound strange, but perhaps it could be a moment of relatability for some. When I've even looked for certain jobs in the past, a thing that came up in my head was, how will this sound to other people when I say, this is what I do and this is where I work? Crazy. So a lot of it stems from looking at myself through the lens of other people. And because I've had so many assorted jobs, I've done so many different things, in my mind, that fear that constantly just is circulating, and that assumption that I have about myself is I am this fickle, flaky person who just can't commit to a career or can't commit to a job. And I've really tried to own that, to be honest. And this is where I'm at now. I'm trying to step away from the connotation of those things and what they mean and look at it from a different angle. I know it's way easier said than done to do that, because like I said, for so many of us, our career is like this big defining thing in our lives. But rather than look at these jobs and these professions as the thing that's going to make me and what other people will view me as, how about who I am? How about how I make people feel, like the way that people have mentioned that I make them feel seen? Those qualities that you have as a person are just like, they're way beyond a LinkedIn profile. And of course, this is coming from me, so obviously I'm going to paint it in that way. And for a lot of people who are career-minded, go away, fly. A LinkedIn profile is important. Their profession is important. And I'm happy for those people that have found their career path and they've found a really fulfilling way to go to work and to, make their living. But not everyone is sort of destined to feel that way about what they do. And I guess this is like the hard pill that I'm trying to swallow about myself. It is so challenging, I think, when you get to a certain age. Like I mentioned, I'm 33 now, and your friends have very well defined career paths, they've forged ahead, they've had goals, they've done all the things that one should do up until this point. Should do, I say, in limited terms, I'm looking at it as. And yeah, like I think it affects me in a lot of ways, or it has affected me in a lot of ways when it comes to dating or putting myself out there in the world. I'm hesitant to, because I'm always looking at myself again through the lens of other people. What do they think about, pause, I have to get rid of this freaking fly. Not today. It's literally what I said to the fly. I was like, it's taken me 12 years and most of my life to feel like I have something important to say, so you are not going to interrupt me. Back to my point. It's been hard for me to put myself out there in the way that I want to, because I've carried this sense of shame of I am not at a stable, secure point in my life from the outset. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know what the heck to put on a dating profile. I've written an article about this, which I'll link below, but a big part of the reason why I hate online dating is because everyone just sort of has this like curated way of marketing themselves. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm in real estate, I'm a homeowner, I'm all these things. And I'm not saying that to take away from other people's success, because like if that's how you feel about yourself, that's good for you. But I guess for me, it makes me feel self-conscious and as though I have to sort of be a recluse and maybe not date, because I fear, well, like what do I have to bring to the table? I think the most important thing is that we all see ourselves as we are. And that is such a difficult process to undertake, because we're constantly being surrounded by expectations or perceived ideas of who we are from the outset. We're surrounded by so much external noise all of the time that it is so difficult to just take a step back and be like, I feel okay and I feel at peace with who I am. My theme for this year, a big theme of the year for me, is to just feel at peace with myself, where I am, and maybe where I am not at this stage. I feel like the more we embrace the qualities that we have, the more we embrace the unique ways that we move through life and the different ways we can take on professions or experience the world around us. I don't know, I think everything will just has a better flow to it. We're not all going to be doctors, let's be honest. We're not all going to be engineers. We're not all going to be 9-to-5 LinkedIn career people. And the cool thing about that is if you continue to lean into the things that make you you and follow paths of inspiration that actually make you feel good, instead of trying to do what everyone else around you is doing, you're going to find a lot more fulfillment. I'm not trying to simplify the process. I know in today's day and age, there are so many things that add pressure to our lives, cost of living, etc., etc. It's not always quite as easy as like, oh, I'm just going to explore my hobbies and see where that leads. But I just think that the first step to all of that is to stop comparing yourself and to start appreciating how you move through the world. And that's where I'm at today. Like I've made so many jokes about the fact that I'm this fickle, flaky, impulsive person. But truthfully, I kind of am, and it's okay. And it's okay if you're also that way inclined. I'm not saying we're gonna, inconvenience people for the sake of being fickle and flaky, but what I am saying is that it's okay to change your mind about things, and it's okay to experiment with your life just as you would anything else. So a quick little message, my first video back in 12 months with my coconut long black, ice long black. If you're a fickle, flaky person like I am, now's the time to embrace it. Now is the time to not shy away and highlight the negative feelings that you think are associated with those terms, and instead to embrace the beautiful things that can come from that. The art of trying, the art of appreciating, the art of not having a dull moment in your life, because that for me is how I want to live my life. I want it to be interesting. And that's why I've had so many different jobs. I don't know, I can't say whether or not I will have a fully fledged, definitive career that I can say to people when I'm making small talk, this is what I do, this is who I am. But what I can do and what I'm in the process of is owning that I actually know who I am irrespective of what I do. And I just wish that for you. I hope that for you. So if anything, I just really hope that you feel a little bit more seen after this video, episode 1 of Coffee and Chats. I look forward to episode 2. It will be coming at you next week, best believe. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you feel inclined, subscribe, like, follow me on Instagram, social media, etc. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, thank you. Bye.